Well, I guess my recommendation would be to to just try it, to just do it, to like share with people that, hey, I got this new framework, I got this new way of thinking. Let's try this out.
Well, welcome to our second video switchboard, Matt. As we mentioned in the last time we did this, we really wanted to take a moment to actually verbalize some of the things that are timely and relevant, have a few conversations, and just react to client conversations or the landscape that we've been having. And today we really wanted to center around like a couple of things that have really stood out as like simple and game changing for nonprofits based on not just 2024, but things that we've iterated over the past decade. And so I was curious, like, what immediately stands out to you when it comes to something that's like pretty easy to implement
Mm,
and it really makes a difference in the way that our clients are thinking and behaving.
okay. Well, I'm fresh off of a strategy call with a nonprofit, and so I'm a bit biased, but I guess I would say our impact effort grid, where we help organizations like just quickly come up with ideas, um, and then prioritize those ideas based on the level of effort, and the level of impact that it will have on the organization's strategy. So I was sharing that with a nonprofit leader, Tom, uh, development director, just a few minutes ago, and his words were, "This is incredibly simple, and it seems like it very useful." So,
I think I have the visual, so I'm going to share just as you're talking because
oh, nice. Look at that.
I actually remember when you and I used to work together at least 10 years ago and we went through this exercise. I don't remember where you pulled it from, but I remember you were bringing the marketing and development teams together from Team Rubicon.
Hmm.
And we were just ideating around things that we should do in order to grow our revenue streams at the time. And you were introducing this, to a group of probably, I don't know, six, seven of us. And
Mhm.
we just like were immediately able to get it. And we're like, wow, who is this guy? Did he make this up? So I think
I didn't,
watching,
I did not make this up. I don't remember where it came from, but typical fashion, you've taken something that I've come up with and made it much more visually appealing and clear. So this graph is incredible. I usually put masking tape on my wall, and I don't have any explanation for people. So Tom, if you're listening, check out this graphic. Bobby has leveled it up. So thank you for that.
and sometimes, what I think about is like, the number ones, like high impact, low effort, those are easy. Two,
Mm.
sometimes you get too many of them. They're high effort. You have to plan, but
Are
you
you talking
can't.
about the ideas that I bring to you?
Yes. So like
Okay.
I try to, move those into four just so that we don't have to do them. But, I recognize some of them do end up in the top two quadrants. And I think too, when you're going through that exercise, something that you really love, like one of your darlings, like ends up in a four. And I'm like,
Mm.
nonprofits never have the time to get to that part of the backlog. Like you just shouldn't do it. So I
Yeah,
think some of the straight talk that we've had with clients around,
that sounds like a
honestly,
really good idea, but it's actually going to take a lot of work, and you can
it,
only have so many of those big projects. And
yeah.
yeah, I agree. I think it's just so easy. And I don't know about you, but I start my day off that way while I'm sitting in my jacuzzi thinking about what I'm going to accomplish that day. And I try to think about what's the highest potential impact at the lowest amount of effort. So I think it applies like strategically as you look out, but also just with your day. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. One's easy. Two's gets a little dicier because I feel like I gotta
yeah.
choose. But okay, I
Mm.
really have always appreciated that. And
Is
when I
there
was thinking of,
another like idea that I've brought forward that you really like? I mean, that's not what you asked.
can we
So
talk about all the
what's one
ones
of
and
our
twos
tools
I've
that we
brought to our?
use? Yeah, that you really like.
Well, you actually did bring the how might we framework as well. Now,
Mm,
this was interesting because it comes from, so like if I thought about this tool is not as simple, but it's not difficult once you've done it a couple times. And I would say the how might we framework is really comes from like designed thinking, particularly in the tech sector, so that you can get all of the ideas out on the table. And
mm,
what I love about it is it's like, the first part of the exercise is literally like, how might we solve XYZ? Everybody in that room is individually writing down all the things.
yeah.
And there's just something that's a total like power shift and autonomy shift to say like, oh no, I need you,
Mm,
development coordinator, executive director, tech lead to actually put your perspective down and think about how to solve this on your own before we talk about it as a group. There's something very psychologically different than the way most organizations operate, which is like first person to say it, loudest person to say it. And so instead,
Mm.
we can come together. I will say though, when you're writing down solutions, when we've done this with clients as well as our own team, you have that moment of like, I don't know. Like I literally, and then you put it down and then suddenly people are like voting on your ideas before you surface like these are the best ideas because we all agreed they were. But there's going to be 25 ideas that didn't make the cut or didn't get a vote and nobody really
Hmm.
feels bad. It's okay. Like I feel like the idea generation, you get more creative once you're like more restrained. So
Yeah.
the how might we framework, which in this we can actually share our video recording of like an example of how to do this. I think it's transformative when you're trying to solve problems as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. That's another really high impact exercise. And with these both of these examples, the thing that stands out to me too is that we keep coming back to them over and over and over. So when we're working with clients and we're trying to help them workshop like a new idea, but also internally, like like the creation of this video, when we were this kind of switchboard video, when we're thinking like, how might we deliver value to our subscribers in an engaging way that kind of like shows our personality and shows our connection. And so one of the ideas was the video switchboard. So yeah, we kind of turn to it all the time. And I think that's what is proof that something is effective and easy.
Yeah, so I guess like to wrap, like how if somebody's watching this and they're like, "Well, I want to try that," like, what's your recommendation of how to introduce something new to a team?
Ooh, in general?
Yeah.
Uh yeah. Well, I guess my recommendation would be to to just try it, to just do it, to like share with people that, hey, I got this new framework, I got this new way of thinking. Let's try this out. And then when it's done, like talk about another one of our favorite things to do is like a retro, where you just quickly go around the room and you ask folks, what went really well about this, what didn't work about this, and what could we do better. So you could try this, you could try the impact effort grid, or you could try the how might we exercise, or any other new tool or way of working, and then literally get feedback from people, and then you can iterate and you can decide, is this something we want to carry forward, is it something we want to adapt or change, or is it something that we want to toss out?
Yeah, as you were talking, I was thinking about our swimming analogy about like when somebody is like new to the organization and you're like, you know what, just put them in the deep end, see how it goes.
Oh
That's
yeah,
sometimes
I
the best
think
way to
yeah.
learn. Sometimes we're like, I'm like, oh, come into the shallow end on the stairs with your floaties and I'll make sure the water's
Right.
warm enough. But I think you're right. Like just test it and then get immediate feedback or like score how was this like for you?
Hmm.
It's pretty easy to and honestly if it fails, uh okay, 30 minutes went by and you learned something, right?
Yeah, is failure really failure in that case?
Nah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
All right.
Cool.
Well,
Well,
I guess the spirit of the retro, how would you rate this switchboard?
I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10.
Okay, what would you and to get it to an 8, what would you want?
I think a plus one for this would be that we don't spend 40 minutes trying to figure out how to record a Zoom side by side, because that's what we did before we made this video. So behind the curtain, um,
I think we're very much aligned on the score for the exact same reason.
okay,
The
fair
fact that
enough.
we still are smiling after technical difficulties. That's a
Yeah,
win.
it's a nervous laugh at this point, I would say.
All
Well,
right.
Switchboard
Well,
subscribers, this has been great. Thank you. We got your feedback that the last one was too long, so pitter patter, we made this one faster.
you might not even be watching this. If you
You
are,
might
thank
not.
you. We'll
All
see you in
right.
a couple weeks.